Hello and welcome to ViewPoints, a production of SDSU News Center, where we speak with faculty experts about hot topics in the news. Later this week, SDSU will be unveiling the SDSU Center for Regional Sustainability. Today, I'll be speaking with three of the individuals involved in creating this center. Dean of the Division of Undergraduate Studies, Jeffrey Chase, Vice President of International Programs, Al Sweedler, and Dean of the College of Sciences, Stanley Malloy. I guess we'll start off with the easy question. What is sustainability? It's such a big umbrella term that we hear so much in the media. Is there any one way to define it?
Well, there are lots of ways to define it, and if you Google it on the internet, you'll come up with literally hundreds of definitions. I think the easiest way of thinking about sustainability, it's really at the intersection of economic vitality, environmental integrity, and social justice issues, social equity issues. So it's not those issues individually, but it's the way they come together and impact each other. And it's also longitudinal, which is to say it's not just about that interaction, but it's about future generations. So sustainability is really about living in a certain way today so that future generations have the same access to resources and even improved access to resources from what we have today.
Now, as far as the Center for Regional Sustainability goes, we're kind of spearheading this project for the region. Can you tell me a little bit about the center and what's the vision of it?
Well, it really emerged from a conversation that the three of us began having several years ago with a few other people. We began to talk about really the need to do something around sustainability that was regional, not just on our campus or not just in San Diego alone, but that was regional. And Al has been particularly, I think, eloquent as he speaks to the kind of regional focus here, and you might want to speak to that a little
Thanks,
bit.
Jeff. We live in a very unusual and unique region, and we're defining the region here as the area of San Diego and Imperial counties and northern Baja California. And what makes this region so interesting and particularly relevant for sustainability is that in many ways it's a microcosm of the whole globe. We have a wide spectrum of ecosystems. We have a very broad spectrum of socioeconomic divisions within these areas. Plus we have an international border. We have a resource-rich area in the Imperial County in terms of renewable resources, and we have a high demand in San Diego. Plus we have common issues of dealing with water and energy and the environment, air quality, and all of these come together in the region. But no one is looking at how to analyze and study all of these issues from this regional basis, and that's going to be one of our main focuses.
Now, Dr. Sweedler, you mentioned the region. What exactly does that encompass? I know you mentioned Imperial County, and I'm assuming San Diego County. How far north and south, I guess, are we going with this?
Well, all of San Diego County, all of Imperial County, and Baja California to the area of usually around Ensenada. And this region actually is defined in a treaty called the La Paz Treaty that the President Reagan signed back in the 80s between the United States and Mexico. It's about 100 kilometers north and south of the border, and that's called the border zone. And as it turns out, it encompasses the very region that we are interested in studying.
If I could add to that, there are a lot of reasons why the region really matters. If the air quality is bad in San Diego, the people in Tijuana breathe that same air that we breathe. The water, the fresh water throughout the region is dependent upon everyone in this whole area. The quality of the ocean that's surrounding all of us influences people throughout the whole region.
One of the things we've seen is a real kind of blossoming of groups and organizations throughout this region that are interested in sustainability and that are really championing sustainability causes. I think what the university can bring is both its research base, its commitment to education, its commitment to curriculum. One of the things about sustainability that's really key is preparing people so that they're better able to address challenges not only as they graduate but long into the future. And San Diego State, because it is really one of the largest single educators, at least in higher education within this region, really is a great place to begin to have those conversations. We also at San Diego State have a long history, I think, of being committed to the community in which we find ourselves, and being real positive contributors, and being the place where people can come together to have those kinds of conversations and to work together on these solutions.
I might add one thing. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Following on what Jeff said and being even a little more specific, we have a campus in the Imperial County, so we have a base of operations there. We also have very strong ties with major institutions in Mexico, universities there, graduate research centers, government officials, and this has grown out of decades of collaborative work between many of the players. So we're very well positioned to bring that together now in this regional focus.
I was going to say the same thing. I think two key points that they've brought up already are we are very community oriented, we are very collaborative, and that's what is going to be needed to solve some of these problems.
Well, as far as SDSU's role in this Center for Regional Sustainability, I guess we'll kind of start with different topic areas. I know, Dean Malloy, you oversee the College of Sciences and a lot of the research and training programs. As far as being an educator, how might SDSU lead the way in that regard?
Well, I think that there are a couple of ways we can contribute. One way is by basic research. Research in terms of, well, for example, Al's research focuses on how to optimize solar energy in ways that we can recoup the maximum amount of solar energy for the lowest possible investment. That will have a profound effect on the energy usage in our region. Something people don't always realize is there's a close connection between energy and water. So if you solve part of the problem with energy, you've had an impact on our water usage as well. There are other people in the College of Sciences who are working on developing new clean sources of energy. And in addition to that, we have people in psychology whose focus is on changing human behavior. So a lot of the issues that are dealt with in sustainability, we know what to do, and the problem is getting people to do it. And so that type of research and understanding can have a profound impact on this movement. I think a key aspect of the research part of sustainability is very much like the discussion of this being a really broad field. There are many different types of research that play in to solving the problem. And each one of those areas of research has an impact on the other area.
And if I can build on that, so one of the things that I think the center can really do effectively is bring our partners together, not only the partners we already have on campus, but also partners from across this region who represent organizations and government bodies and so forth that are dealing with water issues, that are dealing with energy issues, transportation, air quality, and bring them together to have the kinds of conversations about these intersections. And then further, from the information that emerges from those conversations, to get that information back out to a broader public so that people are better informed about the things they can do on a daily basis or in the communities in which they live and work as they help address these kinds of issues as well.
There's also one thing. We're very practical here and pragmatic. And you may have been following some of the discussion about the whole clean tech sector. And you may know that because of the economic situation, in general, venture capital, for instance, is very low now. It's down, except in one area. The only growth area is in the area of sustainability and clean tech jobs and clean tech investment. And California leads the way in that. So another thing we want to do here as a major university in the region is to make sure that we are responding to the needs of the private sector and the community, and also to be sure we're training people with the right skills and they're going to go into society and make a difference. So a big part of the center is educational programs to train the new generation and maybe retrain some of the old generation to think in a sustainable manner, but then to go out and work in the companies, in sustainability managers, sustainability directors, and there's a tremendous demand for that, and will be for the foreseeable future. This is not a flash in the pan. This is a deep issue that's going to be with us for the foreseeable future.
And we have both undergraduate and graduate programs that will be looking in these areas as well, with both I believe the professional science masters and then our undergraduate program that we have in environmental studies, if I remember correctly.
Environmental studies and also environmental sciences.
Exactly.
Now, in the professional science masters, that's an example of where we went to the community and we said, what do you need? What kind of skills do you need for employees who would serve this role for your company? And it's a very broad skill set. It's not something that a person, for example, coming out of ecology would have all the skills, or any other area. And so we are trying to listen to the needs of the community to build a professional science masters that will allow people to go out there and solve the problems facing the companies right away.
And why is it so important to look at all your different areas in terms of this new center?
Well, I think one of the things that sustainability is going to really demand of individuals is that they have the ability to cross boundaries, and that while they may have expertise in a given area, like physics or in microbiology, or in my case, American literature, while they may have expertise in that particular area, sustainability really requires that you can move across areas and come together to address problems, because, as I said before, they're at this intersection. And as we talk to people in the community about the professional science master's degree, for example, we heard a lot of people saying that they need workers, they need employees in their companies, they need people in city government who have the ability to communicate effectively, that's the English, who understand systems, that's the physics and energy, and who really know how these come together to affect human beings, and that's the microbiology. And so I think as sustainability continues to emerge as an important area, there's a real need for us to think about educating people in a way that they not only have expertise, but a way so that they can collaborate with people who have different expertise, because the problems that we're facing can't be solved from a single reference point or a single discipline. So it's really about that coming together again.
And it isn't just the disciplines, it's also global and international, which is another reason why I take this so seriously. And as I mentioned, we live in this international region. And so what might make perfect sense for us as a way to approach things might be completely inappropriate in another society. And then when you enlarge and magnify that to different religions, different cultures, completely different worldviews in Asia and Africa, one can appreciate how complicated this is.
There's the whole social policy side of sustainability. While there's so much science and research and training involved in that side of it, but there's really getting people to just do things is a very tough part of the job. And you mentioned with both psychology, and then there's of course your work that with this little organization that you oversee as well.
Yes, and I think one of the things that's so exciting about the center is that it really has this focus on people, on the human world, the social aspect as well. And it really is getting people from different ethnic backgrounds, from different heritages, different countries, different cultures, different parts of our own community to come together to have these kinds of conversations and really to contribute to those solutions. And that's going to be a key part of the center. One of the things about the center that I think is going to very quickly emerge, because as we've had initial conversations, the initial reaction from everybody we've talked to is, this is great, how can I get involved, how can we be a partner? And the answer is, you certainly can be a partner, and we'll work that out, because it's going to take everybody.
What is the ultimate vision or goal or dream for this Center for Regional Sustainability? I mean, we're really at kind of the fruition stage still, but what is the overlying goal for all of this? Are we going to solve the water problem in San Diego because of this, or is it even a larger goal than that?
Well, I'll finish with where I sort of started with the definition, but a slightly different definition. Sustainability is a long-term challenge. As somebody has said, it's forever. It's really about how we preserve the quality of life on planet Earth, and how we make sure that our children and their children and their children, as I say, have access to resources, good health care, that they live in economically vibrant communities, artistically rich communities. I think, for me, the reason I'm so committed to this is I think sustainability is really about having the foresight to pay attention to the present moment. It's really about looking ahead and then realizing what has to be done today as we engage in these kinds of problems. And I think this is a long-term commitment that we're making here at San Diego State, but it's also a long-term commitment that our graduates are going to make, and many years into the future as well.
Oh, I fully agree, and I'll just take it down to a little more focused level. I've been living in this region for a long time, and my hope and desire for the Center for Regional Sustainability, as this center will be a place, a physical place, and a virtual space as well, where individuals of all of these representing all of these different entities we spoke about from this very diverse and wide region have a place to exchange ideas, define problems. It may contribute to the water problem, but the water problem is also the energy problem, also the distribution problem, also the education problem, also the transportation problem, also the land use problem, also the air quality problem. And I think you get my point, that looking at these things in isolation is no longer sufficient. And the future, which has been mentioned at one point, is already here, is that these problems are with us now. And unless we start right now with this broad way of bringing the appropriate players together and training the next generation, we will be stuck in this cycle of ever downward spiraling, and we really need to break that. And so our hope is, or my hope is, that this center will be a major player in dealing with some of those questions.
Well, Jeff had some very broad perspectives, and I'll have a little more specific perspectives, and I'll provide some very specific perspectives. And they're related to how will we know that we've been a success? We can't wait till infinity and look back and say, oh yeah, it worked. And so what I would like to see us be able to do through this center in reasonably short order is to develop some new technologies that enhance our ability to promote sustainability in the community. And that reflects a variety of areas of research. It reflects physics and energy. It reflects new ways of improving the quality of water and the quantity of water. It reflects changes in human behavior such that we can optimize use of these resources. In other words, enhance conservation. One very concrete set of things that come out of taking and developing research and then moving that research to the community members. A second thing that's really critical is we need to have a report card. If we're going to know if we're a success, we need to know where we are now and where we are as we proceed through this area. And I believe that our center can provide that report card to the community. And a third thing that's very concrete that I think we can contribute is the education to take people and put them out in the community so that companies can become greener, so that community organizations can become greener, such that sustainability is not something that's just happening at the university, but it's happening everywhere throughout the community. Three very concrete things, and I believe that those are things we can have an impact in within 5 years.
Well, very good. Check us out in 5 years, see where we are. But again, thank you all for joining me today to talk about sustainability in general, as well as the center specifically. Again, you've been watching ViewPoints, a production of San Diego State University, where we talk to faculty experts in the news. Again, we had Dean of the Division of Undergraduate Studies, Jeffrey Chase, Vice President of International Programs, Al Sweedler, and Dean of the College of Sciences, Stanley Molloy. Gentlemen, thank you again for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.